Hello everyone again, my name is Hayati. I'm an application engineer at RapidScan 3D. Today we're going to talk about how to unroll and roll our mesh. So first thing, we're going to create one vector and we're going to create a point. So same model, we're going to create one line and then basically it's straight line, and we're going to trim him. The purpose of this practice is that we're going to understand how to unroll and roll the mesh accurately from the points and axes and vectors. So we're going to convert them into construction lines. Now I have a start and stop point, which means my mesh can only be unfold and fold at this exact point. And if I don't do it right, then my mesh will not be wrapped correctly and my 3D curves will not be accurately projected on the surface. So let's just click on the axes and then we're going to click on the split point, and that creates artificial plane, and then it's going to create the flat mesh. Now if you look at the mesh data, we can see it's a little curvature. It has a radius. Now I'm going to hide. If you look at the left side, and it has a helix part and an unrolled mesh. So this is an unbelievably powerful tool if you have the pattern around the curve. So you can flat it out, you can extract these 3D sketches, and we're going to go to the 3D sketch and then we're going to start creating splines. Spline on mesh is very powerful. I don't need any planes, nothing to attach to a mesh, so I can just start sketching in a normal 2, and then I can start recreating my curvatures. So once I started creating these curve pattern, I can project that on the actual my CAD model. Finish with that. The last area, I can cut that later, that flat surface. And you can see I can adjust my spline on the curve. And it's a great, powerful tool. And I'm going to create another one. Start right there. These splines literally just snaps on the mesh. Now I have perfectly aligned to my mesh 3D sketches. Now let's go ahead and polygons, unroll, target. I'm going to select same. Watch. And we have part that curved, but our sketches are not there yet, so we're going to go ahead and take those curves and project it on our actual mesh. It's quite difficult to get such a curve, and so what we're going to do, create that. Let's see. We have created our curves. Hide my sketches. Perfectly aligned to my mesh. Now I can take these datas and I can transfer over to any software. SolidWorks, CATIA, Fusion 360. So I'm going to loft these first and see what the result is. Let's hide my mesh and bring my still not perfect. I think I'm going to put one more curve in the center. I might just need to create 2 more spline curves because I'm quite off, and this is a great way to troubleshoot what is actually not working. So next thing what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this. After I delete it, we're going to go back. I'm going to try to create the plane there. It looks like it's a flat surface. Once I'm done, I'm going to go back to my plane again. I'm going to offset that plane and somewhere halfway. And let's see if I can. I might just try to do 2. If I don't need it, I don't need to use the second one. And let's go ahead and bring up our planes, hide them, and I think I'm going to go ahead and 3D sketch, and then we're going to go back to section, select that plane. That's perfect. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to actually select that plane again, and I'm going to reduce the size where I'm selecting my sketches from. You can do that really easily by just rotating this plane sectional view tool. And now I'm going to stretch this out. Perfect. Don't worry about capturing other stuff around the wall. This is great. Now I'm really happy with this. So next thing what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually trim the edges. I'm going to split right at that edge. Another one right there. There's another one right there. Once I'm done, I'm going to trim these 2. Perfect. And then accept. You can go back and delete the second plane that you're not using. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to .3D sketch again. Let me just pull this back. Sketch, unroll, curve, target. We're going to select all our 3D sketches, axes. We're going to pick the same axes. That's my vector. And then point. And then accept. Now I'm going to hide all my planes. Bring out that one. Perfect. Now we have perfect representation of 6 3D sketches that been perfectly rolled onto the model. Now let's go ahead and loft this one, and that one. And then accept. Let's bring out the analysis. I'm going to reverse this, normal. Look at that. Now I can use this as my guide, and then I can loft the rest of the part. 1, 2, and 3. Now I have my perfect 2 surfaces lofted. I'm going to extend the edges and then trim it. You can only extend that surfaces that are knitted to each other. So I have to do step by step in each surfaces. I think this is good. I'm going to probably extrude a little bit more on top so I can trim them evenly. Once I'm done, I can use the plane to trim them. After I trim them all, now I have the perfect shape of it. I'm going to add a plane there. I might need to extrude that a little bit more. That one, and that one. Alright, and I'm going to use this plane as a trim tool. Select my plane, and that's fits perfect. Now I can create another plane or loft the surfaces at the end. Let's try this fillet. That looks good. I think I have to stitch them together. And we're gonna knit them all. Perfect. Now I can go back and put another fillet at that edge. I think there's still a problem right there. We can fix that. Yeah, it's still extended. Let's turn this off. There's a little bit of gap there. And then I'm gonna extend that area. Perfect. Now once we finish this area, we can go ahead and stitch them all. Put our fillets. This is exceptionally good fit. This will help us to recreate the rest of the model. Now there are 11 pieces all around, 360 equally spaced. Let's see. Let's do this again. I'm going to go to circular pattern, body. I'm going to select that and that. We're going to put 11, 360 degree, Perfect. Now we're going to accept. You're going to have some wear and tear on the gear surfaces in some areas. It might be warped, it might be over used, may not be accurate in some areas, which is normal. And then once we completely stitch them all together, I am going to create the top plane. I'm going to stitch them all together and then create this as a solid piece. And now I'm putting a fill face command is helping me to completely seal the top. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom. These are extremely powerful tools to reverse engineer any complex shape. Once my part is completely sealed off, I'm going to go ahead and stitch them all together. There's a command called surface and solidify. I'm going to click on that. Once we're completed, my part is solid piece now. Once I'm done, I can create 11 pattern. I'll select that again, revolution. I'm going to go ahead and activate our vectors. Let's click on that. 360. Takes a couple seconds. Now we have the whole gear assembly is completed. Now the next thing we're going to work on is the bottom. Once I finished it, I basically extruded cone shape and then merged them all together. And the next thing, I'm going to use a revolution wizard. It's really powerful. All I need to do is just select these geometry, and my target is some areas I might need to just delete it and let computer algorithm figure out, and then I can change my sketches and adjust to it. So remember, Revolution Wizard gives me sketches, so I can always go back and edit those sketches. Now there are certain areas that it's not perfect, such as that blue area. I need to still merge that. So I'm going to go back to my sketch and edit. Once it's activate my sketches, I can go back and adjust the sketches based on the polyline that software created. I'm going to drag this in. If you notice, there's a step there. So we're going to create our own sketch. I'm going to go ahead and snap it there, trim it. Perfect. And then I can take that edge, hide my model, and snap it on horizontally, constrain it. And then these details, I can adjust my sketches. do corner trim. Pull this back a little bit. If you notice, it's beveled. It's also worn out a little bit. So I'm just going to put some fillets there. And can adjust my fillets. And now let's go ahead and trim, corner trim. I'm going to leave that alone. Perfect. That looks good. And then we're going to pull this guy up here, snap it. Put a few fillets. It's already snapped there. So they're cut teeth out of there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the highest point of that. I'm going to create my own sketches. Select that. Just get as close as possible to give the meat to a machinist so they can cut that area out, or they can modify it. And drag this out a little bit, and they can put their own thread. And now we do analysis on it. We got it up to 5/1000 of an inch. This is great. I'm just going to put some fillets there, estimate. Some fillets are a little bit bigger than the other one. That's why I prefer to do individually, because I'm asking computer to analyze it and runs its own algorithm. And we have a little pocket cut out. We're just gonna go ahead and create a little circle in the center. And then drop it arbitrary. We're just gonna cut it almost a 1/4 inch, and then put a fillet inside and out, and estimate. Let's estimate again. A little pocket deep because not enough scan data, or just not correctly cleaned up. So other than that, this looks good. And thank you very much for watching. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Have a great day.